So it's been a year since our house burned down in the fire, and a majority of the Altadena community burned up as well. And that was on January 7th, 2025. And I've been debating with myself internally over the last week or so of whether I should even do an episode on this, because I really feel like I've said what I wanted to say about the fire. I'm trying to move on, and it just feels like rehashing something like a bad memory. And yet this vlog is sort of what I wanted it to be was sort of a timestamp of this time. And to not talk about it would be kind of like I forgot. So, and then in the past year, even though I still do believe in the things that I sort of, I guess, mentioned in earlier episodes, new things have come up. So I might as well get them out here on this day of remembrance. So if you came here for rebuild news, you can skip on to the next one. This is not that. Number one, I will say this year has flown by so quickly. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older, but time moves so much faster at 58 than it did at 28. It wasn't my biggest worry at the time, but I do remember thinking to myself that time was just gonna stand still. It was just gonna drag on. I was afraid it was gonna just add to the devastation that had already happened. I just thought it was gonna be like a constant reminder every day of what we had lost. And it really hasn't. It's been actually quite the opposite. So number two, I really have found myself enjoying creating this vlog. I've never wanted to be in front of the camera. I cringe every time I see my face. I cringe when I hear my voice. And I guess it's like anything else. The more you do something, the better you get at it. Or maybe not the better you get at it, but the more comfortable you are. This vlog always had an end date as far as I was concerned. This isn't something that's going to go on forever. As soon as the house is built, that's the end of the vlog. But I can see myself maybe doing another vlog on something completely unrelated. What that is at this point, I have no idea. But I've always been a proponent of doing new things, trying things, having absolutely no idea what you're doing and jump in with both feet. You can say that that's foolish, or you can say that that's brave. It's a little bit of both. But I do like putting myself into situations where I'm out of my comfort zone. And trust me, this was definitely one of those things. There's an old saying, if you're not failing, you're not trying. So I'll leave it up to you to if I'm failing or if I'm trying. So number three, I haven't really gone back and rewatched the episodes that I've created so far. I am a little fearful that I may have come off a little too Pollyanna-ish, a little too positive, if that's possible. Everything that I said in those earlier episodes is 100% true. And I still feel that way today. But I can see how sometimes that positivity can be a little annoying or not believable. But that's who I am. And I've always been an optimist. I've always said that being positive is one of my superpowers. So I don't apologize for it. But the flip side of that is that there have been dark days, especially early on with this whole situation, this whole process. And I made a conscious decision to make this vlog positive. And I think sometimes when you do that and you're not allowing the bad things in, it looks like you're hiding something. And I hope I'm not hiding anything. I've always had a belief that you can sort of will yourself to be happy, that you choose to be happy, you choose to be positive. And, even if you're not feeling it, you can sort of manifest that. And it's not a one-time thing. It's something that you have to do repeatedly, but I truly believe that you can do that. So was I doing that early on and not dealing with the bad things that were happening? Maybe a little. It's much easier to be a complainer. And trust me, I complain about a lot of things, but I just didn't want to be a Debbie Downer. And by choosing to not focus on the negative, I guess my only fear of that, or the fear of how I come across, is that I think one of the big negatives of social media is that we post things that are always our best side, right? It's us vacationing in Europe. It's us, having a great time, humble bragging, if you will. We very rarely post things that make us look bad. And so I wasn't intentionally doing that. I felt like the bad was sort of obvious, but I really did feel like it was a time to be positive. I didn't want to give off a false sense of everything is awesome, because it's not, and yet it is. Some days are awesome, some days are not. The majority of this year has been great. It really has been. I mean, Claire graduated from college. Cooper has been getting his flight hours, getting ready to become a pilot. The Dodgers won a World Series. There have been many good things that have happened this year. So I just didn't want to focus on the negative as much. On the one hand, we're kind of making this up as we go along. But now having a year to look back on, I feel pretty good about how I and how we as a family handled this as best we could. This vlog was never supposed to be a daily journal on my mental health journey. But it was supposed to be about the rebuild. It was supposed to be tons of photos of the house being rebuilt. I learned that this journey, if you will, it's intertwined. How can it not be? Number 4, I have intentionally steered clear of talking about who I thought was possibly at fault for this fire, my theories of how it started, all of that. And it's 100% because we are represented by attorneys who have told us, don't talk about this on social media. It could be used against you in court. It's part of the story, and I feel a little dishonest by not being able to talk about it. But what overrules that is listening to people such as my lawyer, and sometimes not saying anything at all is the best move. So I'm not going to say anything. I will say that after a year and after having gone through what we've gone through, I will welcome the day when this becomes part of our story and not the story. I want to go back to being normal and boring. But again, it is what it is. And also, a year ago, I thought I had been someone had told me, I had read it somewhere that, this could be like a 3 to 4 year process of rebuilding the house in California, in LA County. The way that things, roadblocks are put up and the bureaucracy and the red tape and all that. And so I never really believed it would take 3 to 4 years. And yet, I thought in 2020, the pandemic lockdown was going to be for like 2 weeks to a month. So I am not the person to be trying to guesstimate these kinds of things. So that's where it felt like there's no possible way that this could take 3 to 4 years. And yet, if everything goes as planned, we will be back in the house in a year and a half. And if you're comparing that to what it could have been 3 years minimum, that's a win in my book. I will take that and run with it. So anyways, I think what I really want to say was, I'm a big believer in prayer, and I and my family have felt the support and the prayers that you have said for us, spoken for us, thought about us, all of those things. We have felt it. And it made a bad situation so much better. And it's been a weird year. That's what it comes down to. It's been a weird year. And I this next year is going to be a good year. It's also going to be a little weird. And there's still lots to do. But it just feels like the light at the end of the tunnel is now daylight and not an oncoming train. So choo choo, all aboard, let's go.